The Curse of Pharaoh's Gold when greed awoke the dead. Welcome to Ancient Echoes, the channel where lost civilizations speak again. Before we step into the desert sands of time, make sure to subscribe, tap that bell icon, and join our tribe of explorers who dare to uncover the secrets that history tried to bury. Tonight's journey takes us into the heart of Egypt, where the golden tombs of mighty pharaohs still gleam beneath the dunes. But this isn't just about treasure or history, it's about a curse so mysterious, so chilling, that even scientists hesitate to explain it. This is the story of the curse of Pharaoh's gold when man's hunger for glory woke forces far older than time itself. The dream beneath the sand. In the early 1900s, Egypt was the beating heart of archaeology. Explorers from every corner of Europe came chasing fame and fortune, convinced they would be the one to find a lost king's tomb. Among them was Howard Carter, a determined British archaeologist who had spent years searching without success. His wealthy sponsor, Lord Carnarvon, was growing impatient. The desert had swallowed too many dreams already. Then, in November 1922, Carter's workers uncovered the first step of a sealed staircase buried beneath rubble in the Valley of the Kings. Carter's hands trembled as he brushed away the sand. Could this be it? He sent a telegram to Lord Carnarvon. At last, have made wonderful discovery in valley. A magnificent tomb with seals intact. What Carter had found was no ordinary tomb. It was the resting place of Tutankhamun, the boy king of Egypt, untouched for over 3,000 years. The doorway of dread. Carter and Carnarvon stood before the final sealed door. The faint smell of resin and ancient dust filled the air. On the plaster were royal cartouches, and an inscription that seemed almost to whisper a warning. Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king. Carter, a man of science, laughed it off. But Carnarvon shivered. He was a believer in omens. Still, curiosity won. When the wall was breached, a rush of air escaped, air that had been sealed since the time of the pharaohs. Carter held a candle inside and gasped. Yes, wonderful things. Gold gleamed everywhere, thrones, chariots, statues, jewelry. But none of them noticed the cold breath of wind that passed through the chamber, as if the desert itself had exhaled. The first death. Only months after the discovery, tragedy struck. Lord Carnarvon, the man who financed the excavation, was bitten by a mosquito on his cheek. The wound got infected. On April 5, 1923, he died suddenly in Cairo. At that exact moment, the lights in the city went out and unexplained power failure plunged Cairo into darkness. And back in England, at Carnarvon's home, his pet dog began howling uncontrollably, then fell dead. The newspapers exploded with headlines. Pharaoh's curse kills Lord Carnarvon. What had been an archaeological triumph turned into a story of dread. Egypt's ancient gods, it seemed, had taken their first revenge. The domino effect. One by one, those who entered the tomb began to meet grim fates. A radiologist, who X-rayed Tutankhamun's mummy, died suddenly of an unknown illness. George J. Gould, an American millionaire who visited the tomb, died days later of fever. A member of Carter's team was found dead in his bed without any clear cause. An Egyptian prince, who had only visited the tomb once, was assassinated mysteriously. By 1930, more than 20 people connected to the tomb had died. Newspapers listed them like a tally of judgment. Was it coincidence, or was the pharaoh's warning coming true? Carter's dilemma. Howard Carter himself remained alive, a fact skeptics often point to. But even he wasn't untouched by the curse. Friends said he grew withdrawn, haunted by unseen things. He was often found sitting silently near the tomb entrance, staring into the darkness. He never married, never spoke of his fears, and was plagued by strange events, unexplained footsteps in his house, the sound of whispering voices, and birds crashing against his windows. Though he lived until 1939, those close to him said he was never truly alive again after opening that tomb. Sometimes, surviving a curse doesn't mean escaping it. The science of death. As decades passed, scientists tried to calm the hysteria. They tested the tomb's air and walls and discovered fungal spores and toxic mold that had grown over centuries. These could have caused deadly infections. Others suggested radioactive gases trapped within the tomb could explain the strange illnesses. But here's the problem. Carnarvon died in Cairo, miles away. Others perished years later, thousands of kilometers apart. Mold and radiation can't chase you across continents. And then there were the coincidences: storms on the days of deaths, birds falling from the sky, and the eerie glow some claimed to see around the tomb at night. The desert, silent as a grave, never gave its secrets easily. Gold of the gods. To truly understand the curse, we must understand what gold meant to the ancient Egyptians. Gold was not mere wealth, it was sacred. Egyptians called it the flesh of the gods. It symbolized the sun, eternity, and divine perfection. Pharaohs were not just kings, they were living gods, and gold connected them to immortality. Every object buried with Tutankhamun was crafted with spiritual purpose. The golden mask represented eternal life. The gold amulets were spells of protection. The golden coffin symbolized rebirth in the afterlife. To steal or disturb these objects was not robbery, it was sacrilege. The gold was part of the pharaoh's soul. In the ancient world, desecrating it meant inviting the wrath of the underworld, the judgment of Anubis, the guardian of the dead. Ancient words of power. Inside the tomb, hieroglyphs inscribed prayers meant to protect the pharaoh. Rise, O sun, and shine upon your son. May none who walk upon your resting place find peace. Priests in ancient Egypt performed complex rituals to bind the tomb with protective magic. They mixed poisons into oils, whispered incantations, and sealed the chambers with spells written in hidden ink. Some archaeologists believe that the curse wasn't just superstition, it might have been chemical traps, poison substances, or ritual toxins designed to harm tomb raiders. But others, especially Egypt's own elders, said quietly, no trap, only gods. The eternal king. When Tutankhamun's golden mask was first revealed, the world stood in awe. Its beauty defied imagination. Perfect symmetry, deep eyes of quartz and obsidian, and inscriptions that read, "May your soul live forever. May your face be open before Ra." That mask wasn't just a burial ornament. It was believed to hold the pharaoh's ka, his vital spirit. When people stared at it, they weren't just seeing gold, they were meeting the gaze of the ancient king himself. Even today, museum guards claim the mask seems to watch them. Cameras malfunction. Visitors feel dizzy or faint. Perhaps it's coincidence, or perhaps the spirit of the boy king still guards his gold. When the gold tells stories. Over the years, artifacts from Tutankhamun's tomb were displayed in museums around the world. Curators noticed something odd. Some objects caused unease or strange mishaps. A golden scarab amulet was said to cause dreams of drowning. A ceremonial dagger made of meteorite iron fell from its case twice, though no one was near. And during a 1970s exhibit in London, a worker moving a statue of Anubis collapsed and later said, "It felt like someone was choking me." Whether these were psychological effects or something else, they kept the legend alive. Modern investigation. In 2010, Egyptian archaeologists and scientists used CT scans and DNA testing on Tutankhamun's mummy. They discovered evidence of malaria, bone deformities, and genetic disease, proving that the young pharaoh's death was natural, not cursed. But when asked about the curse, even Egypt's top archaeologist, Drive Zahi Hawass, smiled and said, "I don't believe in curses, but I never sleep near a tomb." That says everything. The real curse, memory. Maybe the curse isn't about death at all. Maybe it's about memory. By disturbing the tomb, the archaeologists ensured that Tutankhamun, forgotten for 3,000 years, became immortal in history. His name is now spoken by millions. The gold did its job. The pharaoh was reborn, not in the afterlife, but in our collective imagination. So perhaps the real curse of Pharaoh's gold is that once it touches you, you can never forget. You carry his story, his gaze, his whisper, forever. The return of the gold. In recent years, Egypt began returning the treasures of Tutankhamun to their homeland. The new Grand Egyptian Museum in Giza will house them permanently, guarded by modern security and ancient prayers. Even today, Egyptian workers perform small rituals before moving the sacred objects, just in case. They light incense, whisper words to Anubis, and bow their heads. Because in Egypt, time is a circle. And curses never really end. Echoes never die. As the wind blows across the Valley of the Kings, it carries a sound, part sand, part whisper, part memory. Maybe it's just the desert. Or maybe it's the voice of a young king saying, "Leave my gold, let me sleep." If you felt the chill of ancient Egypt tonight, subscribe to Ancient Echoes, hit the bell icon, and join us tomorrow when we unveil another secret buried in the dust of time. Because history doesn't sleep, it only waits to be heard. And here, its echoes never die. Thanks for watching.